Why is it that we often see when a foreigner Filipina relationship fails, all of a sudden the man is now trying to get every cent that he has spent on the Filipina reimbursed? I don't see this happening in a relationship between a man and a woman in a Western country. But this issue around a foreigner Filipina seems to be happening more often in recent times. And in this video, I want to take a close look at why some men feel the need to be reimbursed when a foreigner Filipina relationship breaks down. And I'd also like to get your viewpoint in the comments section below. So be sure to stay with me here for what is sure to be a rather fascinating look around what I see as peculiar behaviour taking place. Just quickly, if you're looking to date a Filipina and are not sure where to start, then why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment to the Philippines' #1 dating site where it's free to create an account. Now let's start looking at this topic from the point of view of a Western man being in a relationship for 2 years with a Western woman. And let's say they even got engaged at some point during that 2 years. So she's now his fiancé, and as they progress with the relationship, he of course has bought her a diamond ring, bought her several gifts, some may have been jewellery, spent various amounts of money on her, perhaps to help her with tuition fees or to help her along the way with everyday living costs when she was doing it a little tough or needed some extra help. And in some cases, perhaps they even bought a block of land or a house in planning for their future. Now clearly, that's the way things roll in a relationship in the West, and when the relationship ends for whatever reason, do we ever ask for all the money that we've spent to be reimbursed? Yes, some may ask for her to return the diamond ring, and of course, if property is involved, that needs to be worked out as well. But anything else we may have gifted her, such as presents for birthdays, Christmas, or just to show her appreciation, one would never ask for those things to be returned or reimbursed. And certainly, any help with living expenses or tuition fees is done willingly within the relationship. Simply, any of these things in the West, no one would ever reasonably ask to be reimbursed. So why is it there's so many foreign guys who we see on YouTube channels such as the Rafi Tulfo show who have been in a relationship with a Filipina for let's say 2 years and even possibly engaged to her and has given her gifts and assistance as mentioned previously? Why is it that he now feels that when this relationship with the Filipina breaks down, that he's now entitled to be reimbursed for paying her tuition fees and all the assistance he willingly gave her around living expenses, etc. Now he wants it all back. And even to the point that some of these foreign guys who have bought land and a house now saying he wants to be reimbursed for that as well, even though he knew from the start a foreign person can't own land in the Philippines. Surely he must have realised this and should have understood that if anything happened to the relationship, then the land and house is hers. But no, some of these guys go racing off to Rafi Tulfo, crying like a 2-year-old, saying how she had done him wrong and scammed him out of all of his money. And these are the only guys that we hear about. I'm sure there are many more out there who badmouth Filipinas and their families after such a breakup. And I ask the question, are there not clearly double standards here? And am I the only one seeing this? I do think that in many of these cases it's a form of buyer remorse, so to speak. These guys, in my view, tend to buy the Filipina and that relationship. He comes riding in on his white horse like a man who is on a mission to save his Filipina and her family. It all makes him feel good inside, and of course he's loved by the Filipina and the family at that time. But the relationship at that point is still all very new, which the man seems to just throw caution to the wind and spend up in many different ways on the Filipina and her family. It's only when finally things start to fall apart in the relationship for whatever reasons, and then the relationship finally ends, that the man realizes all his generosity in buying the Filipina only lasts a certain amount of time. And he also realizes how much he spent over time and now starts to resent her for all of this. When in fact, the truth is that he made every decision on how to spend every dollar himself, and clearly anything spent within the boundaries of a relationship is non-refundable. A gift or money spent in good grace is not conditional upon a couple staying together forever. Simply, that would be ridiculous, and frankly, if one thinks that, then I know some good psychiatrists you should be chatting with. Now let's be 100% clear here. I'm not talking about guys who are a clear victim of a love scam from the start. I'm talking about guys who classified themselves in a genuine, loving relationship with a Filipina, and there is a difference here. Quite frankly, those that were taken in by a love scam because you raced in far too quickly and then started being a hero by splashing the cash around, then I have no sympathy for you, and let's hope you've learned well from that experience so it's never repeated. I can just imagine a Western couple coming before a court for similar things would be laughed out of the courtroom. In fact, I'd be surprised if it even made it into the courtroom in the first place. But as I say, this is completely double standards by the man, all because she's a Filipina, and he thinks that he's smarter than her or has more power than her to teach her a lesson. All because he finally realised that he was to blame here, but doesn't want to accept that responsibility, so he tries to push it all onto the Filipina. Thankfully, I do think that shows like Raffy Tulfo are waking up to such foreign guys in more recent times, which is great to see. Simply, guys, what you give, and yes, I use the word give in the context of a relationship, is non-refundable. No matter if it's a few thousand pesos or hundreds of thousands of pesos, a motorbike, a business, land or tuition fees. And if you can't accept this, then simply don't give the money in the first place, or better yet, don't even start a relationship with a Filipina. That would be my best advice. If you'd like more valuable information and tips around creating an awesome relationship with a Filipina, then be sure to check out our recent videos playlist on screen now. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.